The Carolina Panthers, don't look now. They are not the worst team in the NFL.
No, they are not.
They might not even be the bottom 3 in the NFL.
Might even be bottom 10.
If you're looking at the 2025 NFL draft order, right now, Panthers would be picking 10th.
Look at this.
Which
Look at this.
Which is bittersweet, to be honest with you, because the 10th pick is a bummer. But that tells you 9 teams are worse than you this year, including the New Orleans Saints, which means you are not the worst team in your division. We take small victories like that and we celebrate them.
Let's go.
And on top of that, young player takeover continues. Young player takeover continues. The heart and soul of this win, it was Jalen Coker and Xavier Legette, and obviously Chuba Hubbard and Bryce Young, the J.C. Horn of it all. These are all players on rookie contracts. The young player takeover continues, and the best part about young players is each week they get a little less young. Each week they become a little bit more experienced. They get a little bit more wherewithal, a little bit more you can't trick me because I've seen it before. So there is expectation that this team will get better from this point forward. Dave Canales, the head coach, talked about the team building each week.
You know, I just love that we're building off of weeks, and that's been the goal. Can we improve from the week before? We saw great improvement in the run game again from both sides, which was huge. We got to clean up the penalties. That's something that we'll attack and talk about, with our guys, because that really did give them some more opportunities. But, to me, it's about that weekly improvement. It's about just setting our trajectory where we can just have that mental discipline to come back every Monday, correct it, attack it on Wednesday, and see the improvement, and that's what's happening for our group.
Now, if we're being completely fair, right, when things are going poor, we point out the context. So when things are going well, just in the interest of being, playing both sides here, we'll do this quickly. The winning streak does come against the Saints and the Giants. Those are not very good football teams.
They are not.
They are teams with monstrous problems of their own, which did play a role in the fact that the Panthers were able to win both of those games by the whiskers on their chinny chin chin. But a win is a win in the NFL, and you celebrate them all. They're professional athletes too, and it's not like the Panthers are the Chiefs and have the ability to say, well, that was a win, but we aren't really proud of it. This is the Panthers. Every win you get, you celebrate. And actually, with the young player takeover happening, I think the difference between winning and losing this game, shout out to the old guys too. And by old guys, I just mean players that aren't brand new. Right? I brought up Chuba Hubbard. He's kind of on the fence, right? Still a rookie contract guy, but he already has his extension signed for after his rookie contract, and it's big money. So he's on the fence, but while the young guys are becoming players you can depend on, the older guys have become hey, if they make a play or two, if every one of the vets makes a play or two, that's the difference between winning and losing. Clowney tips the pass, leads to a pick. Xavier Woods gets the pick. Josie Jewell has his hand in a couple turnovers, including the opportunistic interception when Tyrone Tracy decided he didn't want to catch the ball. A'Shawn Robinson forces the fumble in overtime and gets super jacked up about it. DJ Wanham got himself a bunch of pressures and a sack in his first game back. Here's DJ Wanham, and actually, I said back. I need to correct myself. His first game playing for the Panthers. He was an off-season signing, was expected to play much earlier in the year. Didn't quite make it until this week, but he made his presence known as soon as he showed up. Here's Wanham on the defense needing to come together.
We got the guys, obviously. We just got to keep going, We got players that can make big plays. Obviously, we've seen that today. We just got to keep growing closer, continue building together, and, the sky's the limit for us.
Here's why I think this game was a big deal. And the Bryce Young of it all we'll get to. If you want real deep conversations on Bryce Young, you could bring him up on the Heastar Automotive Group hotline during Monday Sound Off, coming up here in a few minutes. Keep your dialing fingers ready. Or at 4 o'clock, football at 4, we're really going to dive into the Bryce Young element. But here's why, as a team, I think that game mattered. You, ready? Because I said the Giants stink. You look different. This was not, even though it played to overtime, the eye test didn't tell me these two teams are in the same place. The Giants had young players that are good. Don't get me wrong. Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, I'm high on both. But it seemed like they were out there individually. The Panthers, hey, Bryce Young misses Jalen Coker. Boom. Got to give it to the defense. Defense stands up. Why? Because J.C. Horn is locking up Malik Neighbors. Jadeveon Sanders makes a play, but he has, 2 catches for 8 yards after having 80-something last week? Well, that's okay because Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker will have a few more, or because Bryce Young can run for 30. It's a little bit more cohesive. And the worst teams in the NFL never look cohesive. Right? It never looks, it's okay, I'll pick you up. That's what the Panthers look like in that game. That's what they showed Germany. And by the way, there was the Chuba Hubbard dependability element of it. Like, give credit where it's due. He had a career high in rushing yards. I would argue Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis in that offensive line had whatever the equivalent of that group put together had their best run blocking day in a long time.
With 2 fill-ins.
With 2 fill-ins, and I would even add this. Just 1 sack.
Yeah, second play of the game.
Second play, and it was something that we'll talk about for a while. I think Dave Canales got a little cute with the play call, a little blind rollout for off the play action for Bryce Young, so he turns around and there's Brian Burns waiting for him.
He did that a few times. Let's call naked bootlegs right to Brian Burns. No.
Which is, it's not – maybe you're overthinking it a little bit when you have a team that's that good at the pass rush. And, oh, by the way, the Giants are really good at the pass rush, not great against stopping the run. So what made you think they were going to sell out on the run fake? They don't stop the run as it is. So after that, the offensive line played, I would say, fantastic. There's a lot of good to build off of, but the thing that stood out to me was I kind of had the feeling I normally have watching the Panthers when watching the Giants. Just going, how are you going to lose this one? Giants would get down in the red zone. How are you going to lose this one? Then Tyrone Tracy kind of catches it and doesn't, and I'm like, yeah, it's a Panthers play. Right, you go to overtime. I'm finally, for once, a Panthers fan looking at a situation like that going, I'm pretty sure the Panthers are going to win this one. Giants come out right away, boom, fumble, and everyone's celebrating. It's the first time they felt the inevitability of being the team that's more well put together. And that is a big step. Now the next step is being able to do that against a team that's not a complete mess. Right, you got the Kansas City Chiefs coming up. That's probably a tall task. That's after the bye. But then you look at Tampa, Philly, Dallas, some of these teams that had astronomical expectations coming into the year. I think you can get one if you put everything together, if you continue to have each other's back, if you face a little bit more adversity and you don't crumble. And I would not have said that a few weeks ago.